We're starting to overlook one part of the forklift loads, and we're not going to watch one video, but we're going to watch two videos today. Hello, welcome to Safety Update with Sam. I am Sam. Did you miss me? I feel like you did. Based on some of the messages I got, you might have noticed I did not do a safety update last week. That's because I was actually down in Louisville, Kentucky, or as they say it down there in Louisville. You got it's like almost kind of like throwing up a little bit, like Louisville, Kentucky. But I was down there for the Mid-America Truck Show, and it was a great time. Got to see a lot of cool trucks and got to meet a couple of the vendors that we use and got to talk to them and got to sit on some really interesting seminars and talks and things like that. Got to network with some people. So great time. But yeah, unfortunately, I didn't get a safety update done last week, and I apologize for that. And I know that you felt personally attacked for that. And so I'm going to make up by doing this one even better today. Really? I don't know. Anyways, moving on. I have had a couple drivers talk to me about some things with the forklift loads, and we're sometimes forgetting to do the last step. So I just wanted to put this reminder out there to you guys. It's maybe not necessarily a safety piece, but it's definitely something that we need to remember. Okay, so forklift loads, that they brace them with the blocking and all that kind of stuff, and they have nails in those blocks, and they'll take the forklifts off, and then we're supposed to pull the nails if they don't get pulled for us. Please make sure that you're pulling the nails. Okay, there's nothing worse than grabbing an empty trailer. Okay, first off, finding an empty trailer is miraculous, and then there's nothing worse than finding the empty trailer, opening it up, and seeing just nails everywhere that now you have to pull because the person before you didn't pull the nails out. So if you're doing a forklift load, make sure that if the nails aren't pulled out for you, that you go back there and you pull the nails out. Now, I'm not talking about like, oh, I forgot one, I didn't see one. That's one thing. But I've had a couple guys come to me and say, I've had trailers just full of nails. There's 15, 20, 30 nails sticking up. And it gets annoying because, as you know, it's a little difficult to pull those nails. And I'm assuming that's why a lot of guys aren't pulling the nails out, because it's difficult. Now, here's the other thing too. I have purchased a handful of crowbars, some big, long ones, and then some shorter ones too that we're kind of experimenting with. They're mostly all gone, but I do have like a couple, one or two still hanging around. So if you don't have a crowbar, or if you got a short, tiny one that you want to get a different one, come see me. If I've got a longer one, it's all yours. Like I said, we're kind of experimenting with them. I've got a handful of guys already using them, and they seem to be working pretty well for them. So they're pretty tall. They're like 4 feet tall, so you can really get some oomph behind it. So if you need a crowbar, you can text me, call me, or even stop in, and if I've got one, it's all yours. Okay, but we need to remember to pull those nails out, because like I said, there's nothing worse than finding an empty trailer, getting in there, and realizing that you have a lot of work ahead of you, okay? And that goes for a couple other things too. We've had a couple incidences of empty trailers that are dropped somewhere, and a guy goes and picks it up, and then they notice there's actually a decent amount of damage done to it. Either like a front corner is knocked in, or there's some scrapes along the side, or something like that. So please, and I'm just for everyone's sake, if you know that your trailer has damage on it, even if you did it, we need to know that, so we don't get a guy going to grab an empty and he gets one, and then all of a sudden we can't load it because there's literally a hole in the roof or a hole in the side. Okay, now we got to go get it repaired. If you know that your trailer has damage to it, let us know, okay? Either myself or the shop, just let us know. Say, hey, this trailer's got some damage to it. Even if you're like, I'm not exactly sure what happened, but it happened, let us know, just so we can get that thing fixed, okay? Because instead of having to sit somewhere for a day or two, and then all of a sudden we grab it, and then it has to sit again for another day or two or three, or however long it takes to get it fixed, that's just something we just don't need, okay? The trailers, the empty trailers sometimes can get a little scarce, so the more we have around that are ready to go, the better. So pull your nails out if you've got some left, and if there is damage to your trailer, let us know, especially if it's going to hamper picking up a load. You know, if there's a hole or something like that in there, we can't load those. So if you know that a trailer's got that, please let us know, and don't just drop it and drive away, because we can still find out who pulled it. So not to scare you, but just to let you know that please let us know. Okay, cool. All right, so let's watch not one, but let's watch 2 videos today. Okay, so here we are. We are right now, I think we're in Pennsylvania, if I'm not mistaken. Pennsylvania, Missouri, one of the two. I think it's Pennsylvania. But we are driving out here on the interstate system, and you'll understand here in a second why I'm showing 2 videos, because it's kind of the sweet reward and the what were they thinking it's kind of a yin and yang type video. So it's not necessarily an instructional video, or we're not really going to learn a lesson from these videos per se, but it's just kind of interesting what you guys are kind of up against out there, and what the people who are quote unquote in authority to do, how they react to different situations. So let's take a look at this one. So again, we're out driving, nothing too crazy here right now, but we got a car coming up on our left, and we can see that car, and there it is, and kind of getting a little close to us there, and our driver takes an evasive maneuver to get away, and the car comes back over, and then it goes back again, and there's another car coming up behind it, and look at that. It is a state trooper, and as you can see, the cars get up there, both of them kind of hit their brakes a little bit. The state trooper rolls up beside them, and then after looking for a second, the state trooper just keeps going. I don't know. I mean, that to me is about as suspicious as you could possibly get while driving. This car driver is obviously distracted with something. I don't know if they're on their phone, if they're putting makeup on, if they're reading a book, I don't know. But they're obviously distracted because they're coming in and out and pulling back, and they're driving terribly, just terribly. And the state trooper doesn't do a thing about it. It's kind of mind-boggling. What do you have to do to get pulled over in the state of Pennsylvania? Apparently a lot more than almost running into a semi-truck and then going back and then coming back again. I mean, this person looks absolutely drunk, in my opinion. I would think that this would be a prime candidate for pulling over, especially when they run a semi-truck off the road and almost cause them to run into a guardrail just because of their terrible driving. So it's interesting. I don't know what the state trooper was thinking. I don't know if they pulled up next to him and saw that it was their spouse. I have no clue. But obviously they didn't do anything. They slowed down to look at him for a second, then they take off. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on but it's kind of crazy that this kind of driving around a semi-truck doesn't even merit a pullover to see what's wrong with the car or the driver of the car. It's just kind of mind-boggling. But anyways, so that's kind of on the one side of crazy. Like, what in the world are they thinking? Now, let's go to another video here. And now this one, I believe, is in South Carolina. And I know we don't go there very often, but this time we did. And we're driving in a, not a residential area, but, not an interstate per se. And we're going to fast forward here for a second because it takes a second. But we're just driving. I don't know what the speed limit is. We're not driving terribly fast, but I'm imagining that the speed limit on this road is 35, 40 miles an hour, something like that. And we're doing probably about that. And then we come around this corner and car passes us in a no passing zone. You're like, son of a gun. Where is the sweet justice in this world for cars like that? Come on. Can't we just get somebody to have that instant karma? It's kind of tricky to see in that quick, but that was a police car or a police truck in this matter. So it's kind of apparently if you pass in a no passing zone in South Carolina, like that car did, apparently we weren't going fast enough for him because he had to get somewhere, maybe he had to get to the Cracker Barrel for breakfast, I don't know. But it's just such a sweet and satisfying moment to see a car like that and you just go, what in the world is going on? Where's the justice in this world? And then bingo, there's the justice in this world. So I know in South Carolina, if you pass in a no passing zone, the cop's right there, you're gonna get caught. If you almost run a semi-truck off the road in Pennsylvania, you're going to get looked at, but really nothing's going to happen to you. So I found those videos just entertaining as far as I'm concerned. I mean, the first one's could have been actually very serious, but luckily our driver, being the professional, was able to avoid the car, backed it off a little bit, let that car get ahead of him, which is a perfect thing to do if you're ever in a situation like that. Just let that car go, okay? Obviously they're distracted. We don't want them anywhere around us, okay? So our driver handled that first situation just fine. And this one, he was just doing everything he was supposed to be doing, and it's just so nice to see that sweet instant karma catch up with that driver. And I'm sure he probably got a ticket for passing in a no passing zone, and by golly, he learned his lesson. Now he's going to be good old boy Johnny Citizen, or maybe he'll do it again. I don't know. But anyways, again, this is just kind of show you guys what we see, what I see in these dash cams, and what you guys are facing out there. Just craziness. And we've gone over this before. It's crazy out there. Cars are doing insane things anymore. And I don't know if there's something in the water now or what's going on, but all this to remind you guys that you're the professional out there. I've said this 100 times. You're the professional out there. You guys are the ones getting paid to drive, and you're the ones that are supposed to handle the situations. And both these cases, that was true. We handled the situations well in both cases. So I just want to remind you, just always be aware of the cars around you, because they're crazy, okay? We've established that. And just drive safe out there, okay? So that's it. That's all I got for you guys today. If you have questions, comments, concerns, whatever, just let me know. My contact information is at the bottom of the screen here, or stop in, text me, all that good stuff. I love talking to you guys. So, but anyways, be careful out there, okay? Because those cars are going around you. And again, say it every week. I mean it every week. Make sure that you drive safe.